Hey friends, welcome to Watcher of Realms video. So I have shared completion of the story mode and I struggled but still crossed the 100k, 100,000k. So collected the rewards. I will do it tomorrow as a strategy and see if I record it and share it, but the aim was not to miss the points for today. In this video, I would like to have a word about the summon banners. There's a whole host of stuff. So in my video, I have shared knapsack also. So it's very quick. Within a few seconds, you'll be able to actually clear it. Okay, so this one has arrived today. So Deochon, she's part of the Watcher and the Infernal factions. So she arrives in the summon portal and available as 200 guaranteed. She's a healer, magic healer, I should say, providing ally buff, AoE heal, and team protection. So there is a video, and this will start after the summons are over. Her talent increases healing bonus by 50%. When deployed, begins dancing to Serenade of Hope, which is a stance that continuously heals and protects allies. During the Serenade of Hope, gains an extra 4% healing bonus every 2 seconds, reaching maximum increase after 20 seconds. Then the second one is during Song of Sorrow, stance that continuously strengthens allies. So there is a buff of some kind. Increases attack by 2% every 2 seconds, reaching maximum increase after 20 seconds. These effects are removed when switching stances. Okay. So she will do only one, either heal or provide attack buff. Fair enough. AoE heal, Serenade of Hope, periodically applies attack-based healing 3 times to all allies in range. So she has a Dolores type of range. Song of Sorrow grants 21% inspiration to all allies. So Hope is healing, Sorrow is buff, 21%. Now the healing multiplier can be scaled up by 20%, and inspiration can be scaled up by 4%, so we'll go to 25%. That's the ultimate. Lover's Requiem. Serenade of Hope switches to Serenade of Sorrow. Song of Sorrow, and Song of Sorrow switches to Serenade of Hope. So whatever she starts in the ultimate is where it shifts. Okay. And of course, the cost is 500. So this would be like super fast because through skill up, cost can be brought down to 100. Passive. Bittersweet Dreams. Within 9 seconds after switching stances, basic attack inherits half the effect of the previous stance. Okay. This effect can be triggered up to 1 time every 60 seconds. Okay. Previous stance duration 9 seconds. Within 9 seconds. So it can be scaled up by 6 and trigger cooldown -15. Thorned Rose. Serenade of Hope continuously applies physical damage reduction plus 10% and magic damage reduction that's also 10%, and both can be scaled up. So damage reduction can be scaled up by another 10%. To allies in range. Song of Sorrow continuously applies penetration increase of 10% of defense and magic resistance to 2 other allies with the highest attack in range. That's really cool. And this penetration increase, which is 10, can be scaled up by another 10%. Then there is a bond skill, True Devotion, Pain. Passive bond skill, obtain hero Lubu, the Flying General, to unlock the following bonus effect. When there are any other allied heroes in her basic attack range, reduces Deochon's AoE damage taken by 30%. This is the one that had some kind of an issue. I hope it's been rectified. I'll be able to test when I get her. I'm sure many others will make the content. So that's the bond skill. Lubu arrives day after tomorrow. In terms of cost, 6, redeployment 60 seconds. Let's look at max. So HP is low, attack is extremely low, magic resistance is high, and of course defense is okay. Attack interval. So if the cost is so low, then attack interval is 6 seconds, which means it's going to take time. I mean, some major amount of special gear to bring her to 500 or 600 attack speed to be able to bring the 6 second down considerably. Okay, rage regen auto 18 is, I think, pretty high. I have seen 12. Moving forward to the awakenings. So there's been some jumble change that has been done. So awaken 1 is increasing the basic attack range, and 2 is attack numbers going up. Awaken 3 during Thorned Rose increases damage reduction of Serenade of Hope by 5%. Increase the number of targets affected by Song of Sorrow by 1. Okay. All damage reductions plus 8%. And the last one, when switching, heals allies in range for 500%. That's like crazy. When switching, applies rage regen to allies in range, 2% per second for 5. These effects can be triggered up to 1 time every 30 seconds. Okay, so that's Dear Chong. My thought, yeah, guys are all besotted by her being pretty. Well, which there are a lot of pretty chicks in the game, so you can just go to your hero gallery and enjoy them. From a functional aspect, I feel that this is going to be very interesting because heal and inspiration as a combo is useful, but most important for me is AoE heals. I want to see her doing a cleansing role. There it is. So that should be extremely helpful. I've been using Midan. I would like to believe that she should be able to replace Midan. That's my understanding, but I'll find out because I don't have the test server, so I have no clue as to what's happening, and people have been all over the place. So that's that. So my aim is this. Of course, ally buff team protection is coming as part of the package, but AoE heal is the key. So I'm looking forward to getting her tomorrow with the pity manipulation. Aim is to get Twyla. I have Twyla at A1, so she's already powerful enough. Maybe I don't care. I would prefer to get somebody else. Maybe a Silas would be fantastic. Somebody who I actually require. So that's why I would prefer to do the pity manipulation. That's that. So that's Dear Chong. Absolutely worth picking up from the portal. So I'm sure there's enough resources that's going to arrive in the next 4 or 5 days to be able to pick up. So just be diligent and good luck getting up early for those who cannot go on to 200. Having said that, let's move to the other one. Before that, this is a great hero. You can just clearly see from here and read the player comments and so on and so forth to get an idea as to how brilliant she is. Her range increases during her ultimate, and she really causes a lot of damage. So that's that. Twyla, fighter, normal fighter, single target attack, multi-strike attack, deep defense penetration, and continuous damage. All tantamounts to massive amount of damage. She's already been spoken about, so I will not go too much into the stuff. Clearly, all has been spoken by a lot. The main point that I want to say over here for trying for her, in case you don't have, is she's a brilliant hero. And now she's also got the ratings to guide you as to where all she can be absolutely useful. She has a bond skill along with Hex, the Mad Diviner, and unlocks the following bonus: reduces Twyla's first deployment cost by 6. So from 17, she becomes 11 if you have Hex in the roster. Each time Hex draws a card. Now, if both of them go into battle together, then each time Hex draws a card, Twyla permanently increases crit damage by 5% and keeps stacking up till 60% crit damage. That is really cool. So taking the two of them together is excellent fun. You will require, almost every fight requires some kind of a fighter or a ground unit, and she comes in handy straight away over there. So that's Twyla. Otherwise, the regular cost is 17. And when you look at it, that's a decent number, 28,000 HP and attack numbers of 6,400. I'm taking the 50 also that has been given over there. 2.6 standard, everything is standard. Rage Regen Auto, as you can see, is 13. So that's that. Going forward, Hex. He is legendary. As you can see, that's a lot of 5s, and he is a top hero. He's a magic marksman, which means the benefit of the magic word is heavy armor. He blasts through. Piercer blasts through light armor, and normal, unable to counter. Basically normal is normal. Doesn't go through any based on the hero's stats, and special will impact. But piercers and magic have been given that additional added buffed advantage. So he's a magic marksman, really handy in many places. Single target attack, durability, and hard control. So he does have stun and control. That comes in quite handy. Details are already over here, so you can actually go through. He has also been spoken about, has been used, very clearly shown. Each Fate Trial passive, each attack launched has 15% chance to inflict stun. And this stun comes in really handy on the target for 2 seconds. 2 seconds is huge. There are many heroes that give stun for 0.5 seconds. So this is like 4 times that. Then it's this passive bond skill that he has along with Twyla, the Red Smile, to unlock the following bonus. Get her. When Fate the Hermit is triggered, what is Fate the Hermit? One second. Fate the Hermit. Yeah, this one is triggered. Hex gains an additional shield equal to 40% of attack for 10 seconds. If Twyla is on the field, reduces Hex's cost by 4. So from 12, he becomes 8. So taking both of them really helps because both can be deployed extremely fast. So that comes in handy. Even in the storyline, I think I could have taken Hex and Twyla together, and I would have been able to put them on the field faster where I was scraping for cost. So yeah, I need to remember that they really bring down each other's cost. So that's an excellent thing. Of course, when you look at the max, his numbers are not something crazy, but then his ultimate and the special and the passives are absolutely crazy. So, and plus the cost, so very speedy deployment, and Rage Regen Auto is 14, which means he charges up a little faster compared to the other fellows. Deimos is available for those who don't have Deimos, especially the new players. Great opportunity to get him. most of the other fellows will have, because he's been on the banner 2 or maybe 3 times. So I think practically every player has him now. So now there is no novelty of Deimos. Earlier, oh my God, for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, I have not had Deimos. That's changed. We move to the Ancient banner. But before that, Twyla and Hex are available on the Divine Summoning and also the regular Invocation of Spirits, the blue crystals, and using gems. All 3 options. Ancient Summoning starts on 16th, which is Sunday. We have got Ivar, that's the Piercer Lord. His Piercer bonus is 15% attributes increase for all faction members. Then faction team members' attack range are also increased. An extra row is added. When deployed, faction team members' damage increases by 15% every 20 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. That's 45% increase of attack damage. That's really amazing. So that's Ivar. In terms of his rating, you can actually see it over here, where all he's completely handy and useful. He's a marksman and a piercer, which means light armor. He pierces through. Then he's a single target attack and multi-strike attack. So he is a single target attacker and he can strike that single target multiple times. That's the combination of these 2 terms. Of course, his flying swords are really amazing. You can go through his kit, and this I've already explained. In terms of his awakenings, I have him, I think, at A1. So when ultimate ends, 40% chance to generate 4 flying sword. That is fantastic. Second one is 300 attack, enhancement, and increases faction team members' damage to airborne units by 5%. This one, duration of victorious pursuit, is 5 seconds more. So 10 plus 5. If the ultimate consumes 12 flying swords, the duration is, so then it becomes 15 and then it can become further 20. Then crit rate 8% plus. When deployed, immediately obtains 12 flying swords. That's the A5. In terms of his stats, they are okay. I mean, they're standard. And his cost is 16 compared to the others being at 12. Now we move to the big fellow that is being introduced in this game, and that is the Chaotic and Northerner faction fighter. He's a normal fighter, Lu Bu. Lu Bu is multi-target attack, which means multiple fellows will get whacked, durability, range boost. So let's see. Oh, here's a video. That's his video. Okay, so we'll read this fellow. His new talent. Every 12 seconds, the next basic attack consumes 15% of the current HP to gain Chaos Strike. What is Chaos Strike? Deals 320% AoE damage to up to 10 enemies in a large area every 12 seconds. since you're going to use him in the storyline, you'll see that he does a decent job. When deployed, immediately enters deep descent for 15 seconds. So that's Dark Star Ultimate, deep descent. Enters a state with independent HP and starts with 65% HP. When Chaos Strike is triggered, inflicts 50% slow for 3 seconds. That's pretty good. When receiving fatal damage in this state, exits the state and restores 50% HP. So he heals himself and gains enhancement effects of the ultimate, that is Dark Star, but cannot use the ultimate during this state. When HP drops below 65, Chaos Strike trigger interval is reduced by 2 seconds. Okay. In terms of this, that's permanent attack or physical attack, deals 100% AoE damage, scaling up 20, so 120% for up to 5 enemies. Dark Star, you can see his range, which is self plus 3, so that's 4 tiles. Immediately enters deep descent, 25 seconds. Upon reaching maximum power, immediately enters deep descent, that's there, and gains enhancement effects. That's too much of English jumble, man. They need somebody who can write a simplified stuff. Increases own attack by 30% and reduces the trigger interval of Chaos Strike by an extra 2 seconds. Now, attack increase can be scaled up by 10% and Chaos Strike trigger interval by 1 second to 3 seconds now. Lapse of Reason is the passive. When not in deep descent, gains 0.5% rage when attacking enemies. This is cool. For every 20% max HP of damage taken, gains 1% rage. Both effects double when current HP drops below 50%. And you can do your skill ups. Power Hungry. When HP is below 65%, increases damage by 20%. For each ally within 2 tiles with HP below 65%, increases damage by 10% up to 30% increase. When the heroes or an ally's HP drops below 65 for the first time, he gains 20% rage. So having him line up with other chaotic fellows extremely is helpful because everybody's HP falls. They are ready to kill. Burning Ambition. Desire, passive bond skill with Diachon. Moon's Radiance increases the duration of deep descent. An enhanced state from his ultimate Dark Star, gained upon deployment by 15 seconds. Wow. That's cool. So his cost is 20. Let's look at his strike numbers. So about 20,000. So that's 20,000 HP. Attack is 5,500. It's neither high, neither low, which means which means it's not impressive, honestly, because he's not a magic damager. He's a regular normal fighter, which means it would have been fantastic had his attack numbers been 6.5 or even close to 7, because then it would be fantastic because he has a range, so he can actually do his thing. But we'll find out. When I get him, I will try him out. Arena, there is a passive, increased damage in the arena by 15%. So he doesn't have a deployment benefit. He has a damage benefit increase. Now look at his awakenings. So Awaken 1 increases basic attack range by 1 tile. If enemy is not blocked, increases damage by 20%. So there's an increased damage and rage boost in Awaken 1, which is nice. Awaken 2 is cost -2. That's fantastic, actually. That becomes 18. Awaken 3 is increases Chaos Strike damage multiplier by 40% and executes enemies with HP below 15%. So enemy below 15 is straight away executed. Elite monsters and bosses are excluded. Attack plus 300 is Awaken 4 and when under Deep Descent. Okay. An enhanced state taking fatal damage will not instantly end these states. Instead becomes immune to that damage and reduces the duration of Deep Descent and enhanced state by 5 seconds. Okay. Awaken 5 is great, but I think Awaken 1 and 2 are excellent to play with this guy. And you can actually have his artifact and also the, what you call, gear to prep and offer a lot of impactive capabilities. So that's that. There's a lot of other stuff that's coming. So there's shards. This is, I think, Calypso's shards. So that's coming. So shard summon is going to happen. Yeah, shard for that hero that nobody uses much. Remember to pick up your goodies using this. There's not too many days, so it'll be absolutely useful to pick it up regularly. I need to remind that to myself also. I have forgotten. Okay, so that's that. Now, what to do? So, if you're a new player, just pull and summon on whichever banner you require to. However, getting DHO would be useful, but Twyla and Hex are going to be more important for your game play forward. So take a call. You can do a pity manipulation. If you have enough summons lined up, then 200 summons is going to guarantee DHO. And you can go to these details where it's explained that what is the pity. 1 second. Yeah, pity timer rules, yeah. So here it's very clearly explained that if no legendary hero is summoned after 180 consecutive invocation of spirit summons, then your soft pity activates. So the best is if you're pulling on DHO, stop at 170, because if you haven't pulled till 170, best is to stop. Now there are some who actually go on till 180 and she pops up. So well, she can pop up in 170 or 160 also. So it's there. But I am sharing what I do. So I stop at 170. I may stop even at 160. And I will go to the Hex and Twyla banner and I will do the pity over there. And a legendary will pop up. Once the legendary has popped, so I would have collected a legendary from there. And then I will come back to this banner and pull for her. And in 200, she comes. She can come early, she can come late. But because she's guaranteed in 200 summons, she gives an option to do a pity manipulation. So that's how you do it. So a beginning and a mid player. A beginning player, I would say Hex and Twyla are absolutely useful. So please do pull on that particular banner. That's very, very clear. DHO is going to be useful for subsequent play, mid play and onwards. So there you go. See what makes sense to you and use your strategy accordingly. Now coming down to the ancient, depending on what kind of a player and how much is your spend and how many ancient crystals you have, pull. Ivar is absolutely brilliant lord, but you can have your epic lords also in Piercer or any of the factions, which will be equally useful. But Ivar, of course, being legendary, packs a punch. So he is a good one to have, and he's available on 15x in this particular banner. Lubu is a good, now whether you are a beginner, mid or end player, of course, mid and end players will aim for Lubu. But even as a beginner, he's a good one to have, because when you look at it, 1 plus 3, and it increases by his A1. So it'll be 1 plus 4. So 5 tile range is excellent. And then he's a multi-target attacker and blasts through. Of course, in test, some who have access to the test server have said that he's not so broken as is being talked about. But then he has the benefit of the bond skill. And if you are getting Diachon, then this one is also useful. However, I'm going to tell you not to go bonkers on him, because he will arrive when he arrives. Unless you're a big spender, then obviously I'm not speaking to you. You know what to do. So that's the plan. My plan is going to be tomorrow to aim for Diachon, and I will do the pity on the Hex and Twyla banner and come back to Diachon, pick her up, and then subsequently day after I have some 30 odd ancient crystals which I will use there. I am currently on a PT of 100, so I was on 89. I pulled 11 earlier today, so I'm on 100 summons, which means I'm 80 away from soft PT. I'll do 60 on her banner and then go for, so I've done 11, and then I'll come back to her. So that's the plan. I have blue crystals and I have got the gems which I have collected. That's it. I think I'll do another 10 and come back tomorrow. 110. Actually, I can do it now also. Yeah, so that's 110, 120. And 30. $140. Finally, I can see some purples. So 61, so 89, 90, 150. I can do 10 more. 160. Now I'll go onto the other side. I've done 170. But I'm not going to pull too much now, closer. So that's it. That's like 170. Now I go straight to the other banner tomorrow when it opens up. So trust this video helps. Good luck for your pulls, and cheers, and catch you in the next video.